I like that because we all are honored, right? Our members, associates, partners, our distinguished speakers for today, and the delegates joining us virtually and in person. In my favorite line, I like to always refer to people as difference makers, but difference makers that are making a difference both in our economy and in our society. It gives me the greatest of pleasures to welcome you to saica's inaugural InfoSight 2025. And as Walter was explaining, if we unpack the word itself, it's really insight for foresight. Because we believe that we're in a world where it's beyond just having data, but we need the ability to translate the data to insights. Here we meet so that we can ensure that we can gain the right insights for you to can have the foresight into the future. This is a moment where we have all long prepared for, especially the team, saica of difference makers and our partners. And on that note, please do allow me, because I think I can, to wish Pondo a happy birthday. Pondo is our executive customer experience, who's leading the team that also brought this summit together. Come, let's give her show her some love. A moment where we convene as a community around the bold vision for the future of our profession in South Africa. This summit is not merely a conference. It is a signal, a commitment, and a catalyst. Over the next 3 days, we will explore what it means to lead with insight, agility, integrity, and to step forward into an era in which accounting profession is reimagining itself. Today, I have a privilege of opening this journey. Before the chairman shares his strategic and visionary remarks, my aim is to actually ground us, to remind us why we are here, what we aspire to become, and how we will move forward together. When we conceived InfoSight, we asked ourselves, what is the next frontier for our profession? What gaps must we fill? What roles must we evolve into as a profession? It's simply because we live in the world that is characterized by acceleration. When we look at the fact that we're working with more data, more complexity, yes, it is surely a VUCA time that we're living in. We live in a time where there is much more stakeholder expectations and more volatility. Traditional models of leadership and professional services are sincerely and severely under pressure. Clients, government, and society demand more than just technical excellence. They demand relevance, trust, ethics, transparency, foresight, and tangible impact. I must say, I recently met one of our speakers later on, the Deputy Minister of COGTA, who said to me, was challenging actually our partnership, saying, but we want to see real work because we want to see tangible impact. And that is really what we are committed to as saica. The accounting profession cannot be passive in this change that we are seeing. We must continue to lead. So this inaugural summit exists to provoke, to challenge, and to co-create. It is a place where strategy meets action, where ideas are tested, and where coalitions are formed. We are here to frame what leadership of realizing Vision 2030 should look like. Not to follow it, but to define it, and to be at the forefront to lead. We chose the name InfoSight intentionally. We want foresight, insights, and courage to act. We invite our members, our partners, and young professionals to move from reaction to anticipation. At the heart of this lies the shift in saica's own trajectory, our revised corporate strategy, our renewed operating model, and the transformation of saica itself into a much more matured, insight-driven organization. In 2024, through broad consultation across our membership and leadership as well, we adopted a refreshed strategic framework for 2024 up to 2028, but you will agree with me that the 5-year horizon, it's surely a long term. But even if we've got a 5-year strategy, for us being agile and continuously evolving, it's very, very key in how we deliver. This strategy is anchored on pillars that demand that we be insights-driven, agile, future-facing, and ethically grounded. To deliver on this, we initiated Project Recalibrate, a comprehensive organizational review and realignment of our target operating model. The intent was to reposition saica's structure, capabilities, and culture so we can respond faster, be more innovative, and deliver deeper value to our members. We recognize that structures that carried us to date will not serve us in the future. So we asked ourselves tough questions, and I hope today you came here with your own set of questions and to get the right insights. But the questions we asked ourselves was, are we investing in the right capabilities? We asked ourselves, are we embedding data and analytics into decision making? Are we enabling collaboration across silos? Are we shaping agility rather than preserving what was familiar? We are also conscious that implementing strategy is harder than drafting it. It demands disciplined execution, accountability, and deliberate choices. The choices of pruning what no longer serves us, doubling down where we must lead, and ensuring that every role, function, and system is aligned with our forward vision. Embedded in our strategy is a commitment to ethical standards, good governance, transparency, and social and economic impact. We are not simply preparing for a changing world. We are insisting that change be anchored in trust and legitimacy. In our 2024 integrated report, we underscore that governance is not a compliance burden, but a mechanism of embedding sustainability, accountability, and stakeholder value across saica. We are also actively contributing to South Africa's AI readiness. We co-championed the National AI Maturity Assessment Framework so that we can strengthen policy, oversight, and responsible deployment of technology. Therefore, saica cannot stand apart and watch the industry disruption. We must be at the forefront. As saica, we do not operate in isolation, and that's why we recognize our partners. Our role extends beyond South Africa because we actually do have 20% of our members that are outside of South Africa. We are part of a global community, shaping the future of finance and governance. Through our active participation in the G20's engagement groups, we contribute to South Africa's voice, to critical conversations about sustainable growth, digital transformation, and ethical leadership. One of the tangible outputs of G20 participation is that we wrote a paper on mutual recognition of qualification, because we believe in mobility and the success of African free trade agreements actually lies in enabling that access and mobility of professionals. And that was actually taking the learnings that we have from the profession, because we do have MRAs, and looking how we can actually translate that into other professions as well. So these platforms such as G20 rather, affirm our ambition to ensure the South African profession is aligned with global standards of excellence, transparency, and integrity. They also provide us with advantage to benchmark, learn, and lead, not as followers of global trends, but as contributors to them. In times when public trust is tested, our global alliances remind us that the ethical principles we uphold locally resonate with broader expectations, and that credibility is earned both at home and abroad. Now, I would be remiss if I did not address the recent media narratives that have cast the shadow over our institution. Many of you would have seen the piece in the Daily Maverick, and I must say that they call themselves DMs and we call ourselves DMs, and at this point in time the DM there's no alignment in terms of the challenges that we're facing with them. But nonetheless, they were alleging internal governance breakdowns and whistleblower retaliations. Let me begin by affirming the saica rejects framing of those allegations and stands committed to due process, fairness, and institutional integrity. Important information to note is that we uphold whistleblower protection seriously. Credible reports are treated confidentially, that this is now in relation to whistleblowers, and are investigated. But I want to emphasize that protection cannot shield unrelated misconduct. When the full facts are weighed, we remain confident that the truth will prevail in the public interest, for which we are mandated and proud to serve. You may ask, why am I speaking of this now? It's simply because transparency and accountability are not optional to us. Our profession is built on trust, and when tested, that trust must be defended with clarity and consistency, and not evasiveness. Let this summit stand as proof that we do not shy away from scrutiny, we lean into it, we learn from it, and strengthen ourselves in the process. So in the light of our strategic imperatives and external challenges, the call to all our stakeholders is crystal clear. This transformation is collective and it is urgent. I invite us all to commit to the 4 guiding principles I want to leave you with. First, the principle of collective ownership. This is not a journey that saica takes alone. Every member, partner, speaker, and delegate that is here this morning has a role in shaping the outcome of what is next. Because the key thing with gaining insights is, what do you do to apply the insights? Secondly, adaptive courage. Let us be willing to challenge orthodoxy, to pilot new approaches, to fail, but not just fail, but iterate. I'm a strong believer that when you innovate, you must actually be willing to allow people to fail. Stagnation is not safe. Adaptation is essential. The third principle I want to leave you with is unwavering ethics. As we embrace data, AI, innovation, and as we want to scale businesses and the areas of impact that we're making, let every decision be grounded in integrity, human dignity, and accountability. And the fourth principle is generational stewardship. We are not preparing only for today's needs. We must equip professionals and entrepreneurs of tomorrow with the right skills, values, resilience, and purpose. If we succeed, InfoSight will become more than an event for today. It will be a movement, a turning point, and a sustained legacy of transformation for saica and for our profession, and in turn, our society and the economy. In a few minutes, or few moments now, as I'm about to close, the chairman of saica's board, Mr. Vincent Mutolo, will address you. not to repeat, but to elevate and embody saica's strategic posture, governance commitment, and leadership resolve. So I ask all of you, engage fully, listen fiercely, question bravely today, and co-create generously, because we also want to hear your insights as well. So this summit is for you, and it will be a success through you. Let me close by reaffirming why this summit matters. It matters because the world is changing faster than many can perceive it. It matters because the accounting profession must not lag behind. It matters because trust, ethics, and transparency matter now more than ever. If we act with insights, courage, humility, and principles, we will not merely react to change, we will lead it. May 2025 be remembered as a year where the profession changed and turned a page. When we embraced transformation, not as an option, but as our mission. When we answered scrutiny with openness. When we redefined relevance. When we walked into tomorrow together, not alone. Thank you for your presence, your commitment, and your belief in this journey. I thank you.